What's up, you guys? Welcome to the channel Davo. We're going to talk about, well, some of the things in my channel that seem like gray areas, things I don't talk about that often. And it's going to basically about the rental market and my opinion on strategies to use in Italy. Okay, so stick around. What I want to start out with is that here in Italy, things are a little bit more challenging than, say, your country might be. And I've had comments of people concerned for others saying you could literally lose your entire savings by investing in Italy. And so I want to start off with a disclaimer saying I by no means want anyone to make stupid decisions and just come over and buy something in Italy. I'm not profiting from the sale of anything. And I'm really just sharing all the information that I have, right? I'm still a person that's learning as I go, and I don't have the 100% complete picture about even the rental market that I'm in right now. I'm more of a learn as you go kind of guy. And so it's a little bit risky, but it's the way I like it. What I need to talk to you about are some things that you might find really challenging when thinking about investing over here. Moving to Italy is a dream for many people. There are lots of challenges, and on this channel I like to talk about dreams and goals and inspire you to think big, because I think it's very, very important that we think bigger than what we actually desire in order to help us achieve what we desire. And people say that's not realistic. Well, I think realism is good for you perhaps, but it's not good for me. I need to think bigger than what is realistically acceptable or realistically achievable today. That's just my personal preference. So that's what I try to inspire. So I don't focus a lot on the negativity, and I don't focus a lot on the stereotypes. I don't like to let those get to me or influence my decisions, because I think that limits my creativity or potential to succeed. So saying that, we have a situation where lots of people want to move to Italy. Now, moving to Italy is a dream to lots of people. I moved to Italy, and it was a little bit easier for me because I ended up marrying somebody who had residency here. And if it could be your possibility, go for it. But make sure before you move to Italy that it is something that you really want, right? Come vacation here first, but to understand that vacationing and living here are two different things, okay? You might not actually like living here, but you might love vacationing here. Be aware of that. Additionally, that the challenges that arise, you might not be able to find a way that you can work here. So you need to start right now creating a way to make passive income and then come over. Don't depend that you'll find a job immediately. Though I personally believe that all of you out there are capable of creating some kind of innovative idea that would really benefit Italy in some way. That's what I honestly believe it. But we're usually our own limitation, right? Now, so saying that, my personal belief is that this advice that I give is best for maybe retirees that are intending to come over anyway, people that have family or something here, and they often visit family, or they often visit Italy even without family, and so it makes a lot more sense to purchase something, stay in it, and maybe rent it out during the off season or while they're not here. Okay, so that's a way of reducing what it costs every time you visit this area, right? The idea that I'm trying to influence people to just come and immigrate to Italy, I'm not really pushing this idea, because taxation is challenging here, and I think the best situation is like 6 months out, 6 months in. That way you keep your taxation in your own country, and you keep residency in your own country, and just come here. And anybody can really do that. You can be here for 90 days out of a 6-month period. You can do that without any type of visa in most cases, as a vacation stay and a vacation experience, and almost anybody can do that. And so that's my real push, is like, come on guys, If you do this frequently, better you invest here and have something you can call your own. Call it your little hub, unless you really just love staying in random different hotels and spending lots of money, right? That's your choice. But I will say it's really easy to buy property in Italy. It's really hard to sell it. I've had that comment, and it's true, but it's not impossible. And so I think it's more about your mental attitude. It's about the price you enter at and how much you're willing to get out of the deal at the end, right? But talking to Alberto, we discussed that on average, the market properties that he holds are on market for about 9 months, right? And he said that they never get sold for the amount they list at, right? It just takes a little bit of time to convince the seller that their property might not be worth what they're asking for at the moment, and that's okay. I am in the market as a buy and hold strategy for a reason, because it is hard to sell property here. And unless I have like a real home run and someone really does want to buy it from me, then I'll hold on to it. Now, how do I make money in the middle? In Europe, the appreciation is lower than the United States. In Italy, it's lower than Europe's average, because we've got a mix of old and new construction. So it depends on which industry you're in. Okay, let's just not consider the appreciation of property. In the rental markets, there are a few. There's commercial, long-term residential, and short-term residential, or in other words, vacation rentals. And Italy is a market full of vacation rental potential, but also there are already a lot of people who have invested in vacation rentals. So the question is it full? Is the market overflowing with property, or is there still a demand for more vacation rentals? Okay, so that's for you to determine on your own. Now, my properties, I buy and hold, and I've been renting to individuals, right? To families in most cases. The property I just shared actually has family in it right now, and that was my choice, right? A lot of people say don't ever rent to family. I personally like the idea that my family can get ahead. The price was low enough that I don't mind. I really don't mind. We actually purchased it not in our name. We purchased it in my family's name, and doing so, it saved us money initially, and overall we trust our family not to really take advantage. In addition to, we only were able to buy our first property because of family. So we definitely want to pay it forward, I guess, and we're comfortable with that. So if you're not comfortable renting to family, that's all good for you, but we're happy to help our own family progress. We don't feel taken advantage of at all. In fact, we feel really blessed to have them nearby. Talking about the other properties we have, we rent them on the long-term residential market, and that market scares some people, okay, here in Italy specifically. It's always a little bit scary. What if the tenant doesn't pay? In any culture, there are often laws that help you evict the tenant, and there's a certain process you have to follow. In Italy, there are laws that protect the tenant a little bit more than the landlord, okay? What's really important is knowing your tenant before signing any contracts, right? To actually have a really good understanding of what type of person they are. And basically, it's really important to vet your renters before just diving in and just trusting that they'll pay for it. And I'm speaking without quoting any laws or anything like that. I know what word on the street is that the laws here are draconian, and that you're gonna basically, you could lose everything just because the tenant doesn't want to pay for their rent, and they could be here for years without paying the rent. I don't have any argument against it. I still don't think that is something that would stop me from attempting it, because Italy gets a lot of crap. Basically, a lot of stereotypical things that are expressed about Italy, which is really limiting Italy's potentially to become like a place that attracts investors. I'm not saying to be ignorant and close your eyes and go for it, because that would be a bad situation to get in. But I think that there are ways to prepare yourself to find tenants that are trustworthy, that actually feel like there's value by taking care of the home that they rent. And as long as you treat them well, they'll treat you well. That's what I truly believe. And I believe that's possible even here in Italy. That's my point of view, my perspective. And honestly, it's worked out really great. I am going to be sharing a story about renters of mine that are actually now very good friends. There are people that think there's no such thing as a good renter. They're just all bad. Well, it's not true. Let's talk for a minute about the long-term versus the short-term market, because this is where we jump into like the financial education that I like to consider. Let's take into consideration Robert Kiyosaki for a second. According to what I've learned from him is that in order to be successful at real estate, it's important to understand your taxes on what your government is willing to incentivize, right? So there have been examples in the US specifically of rich people that pay zero taxes because they exploit certain laws. We got like Donald Trump and Mitt Romney and, well, Amazon's Bezos, and frankly any other large, really rich person uses the same strategies in order to retain money for themselves. Now, I'm not saying that the laws are constructed perfectly, but I honestly truly believe anybody can take advantage of them. You say you need money to make money. Well, according to Grant Cardone, money is basically useless if you don't have the ambition to reach for it. If you don't have the ambition to work hard to get the money in the first place, your work ethic, your creativity, all of this stuff about you is much more valuable than any sum of money, because that's what you use to create money. Anybody can use the same laws, the same incentives to advance their own net worth, their own careers, their own whatever, but some are educated about it and some are not. Some are interested in it and some are not. And usually the people interested in it are taking advantage of not loopholes, but actual laws that are constructed to incentivize investors, such as people invest in green energies, people invest in oil, gases and oils and things like that, right? But as well as housing, people that invest in housing in Italy can take advantages right now of, if you have like an energy efficiency of less, in like a G rating, you could increase your energy efficiency this year and take advantage of some tax incentives of up to 110%, literally meaning they'll pay you to fix your property because they want to benefit the economy, the banks, the contractors, the people, right? So that was what they're incentivizing this year and for the next few years. The United States often incentivizes remodels and new constructions and lets you reduce your tax obligation because you've invested. If you are smart about it and you follow those incentives, you can actually save a lot of money on taxation, because at a certain point you can earn money and make more money hourly or monthly or whatever, annually, and it doesn't matter anymore, because that number, that the adjustment that you make is so insignificant as compared to the taxes that you could be saving if you were to follow certain paths. Talking about Italy now, Italy to me, just from my perspective, my opinion, is that it incentivizes tourism. Italy has really seemed to focus that we are a tourism nation. Now recently they've talked about startups and stuff that have created like windows of opportunity for people who want to create some innovative startup, but at the same time they still focus on this tourism. As is apparent this year, the people suffer a little bit more because they're always focused on tourism and restaurants, hospitality businesses, things that support all the foreigners that come in and visit, even the northern Italian to southern Italian that come and visit. I basically just suggest that you understand what Italy wants before you invest here. So this is my little spiel of what I suggest when investing in Italy, as well as just a disclaimer to be aware that renting in the long-term rental market is challenging. There are occasions where the renter will stick around in the property and just not pay their rent. So it's important to vet your renters, and it is a lot more challenging as a landlord. I think that is a big challenge, and you should only accept it if you're willing to face the reality that it's a lot more difficult than where you are. So where you are is usually a better place to invest. Now the prices here are cheaper, and I'm making the best of my situation as I live here. It's not like I chose to come here for any other reason other than family. But now that I'm here, it's really important that I find a way to make my family happy and try to build wealth so that I can help people in the future. So those are my thoughts on the subject. At least as right now, I'm learning more about the laws, the tenancy laws, and we'll be sharing more about tenancy laws in time, but thought it was important to respond to some of the questions and more or less pleading for that I warn a few of you that are trying to dive at the idea of investing here. So there you go. Those are my 10 thoughts. It was a little bit longer than I expected. In summary, don't necessarily dive into moving here. If you do move here, or if you do visit here often, find a place that you can call your own that is not like 500,000 euro. You can save some money, invest multiple times, even in, as part of that, the vacation rental market is a little bit more forgiving when it comes to renters, since they're there for a short period. But you definitely need to understand the rental market wherever you decide to invest, right? In addition to that, look for the incentives that help you save on your taxations. And on this channel, we talk about some of those here in Italy. As soon as you start making income, you can really basically erase your taxation obligation based on finding the right incentive, since the only income you'll have is most likely rental income. Anyway, thanks for checking this out. We'll see you next time.